Alright, so I want to start this video off by showing off here. These are the last times the Cincinnati Bengals made an in-season trade. They don't do this. They never do this. This is not something that Cincinnati does. But the last time they did it was 2020 with Carlos Dunlap, where they traded him for a 7th plus BJ Finley. 2011, Carson Palmer. They actually traded him at the deadline for picks, which ended up being Bernard and Kirkpatrick. 2011, they also traded Chad Johnson, and they traded him for picks, which ended up getting them Marv Jones in the end. In 2011, they traded picks for Taylor Mays with the San Francisco 49ers. And then they went ahead and sent over Clinton McDonald for Kelly Jennings of the Seattle Seahawks. Finally, the only trade they have made in midseason other than that was 1972, where they traded Robinson and Willis for Joyner and Pritchard. I probably butchered that. But I hope this really gets it out there that they don't do this, right? They don't trade mid-season. They like their roster usually they have that they built in the offseason, and that's what they do. They go with that roster, and they move forward. But because, listen, at the end of the day, we have the trade deadline coming up. It is week 7 now. We have 2 more weeks for the trade deadline. Our offense is struggling. Our offense is not 100%. We're going to have to talk about players that, are rumored that they could be traded to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, again, like I said, I want to preface this enough by saying I don't think any of these trades are actually going to happen based on how the Bengals operate. There's actually 2 different factors why I'm saying that. Factor 1 is what you see on the screen. And factor 2 is, in order for the Bengals to trade for any of the players I'm about to tell you about, they're going to have to get them at an extreme discount or pretty much give up nothing for them. And it's not because the Bengals are hurting for cap. It's not because the Bengals, just like there's something wrong with them. The Bengals value their draft picks very highly. They also value their players very highly. So while many experts this offseason said Jonah Williams was a 2nd or 3rd round pick at best, Cincinnati sat there and said, no, he's a 1st round pick. He's worth a 1st round pick. And we're not going to trade unless we get a 1st round pick. And Cincy will stick to their guns as much as possible to avoid anything else. They won't trade for a player if they're going to give up too much value. They're not going to trade away a player unless they think and feel that they're getting the correct value for that said player. So let's go ahead and break down the 5 players that have been rumored. There hasn't been too many players, but there has been some. Number 5, Darren Waller of the New York Giants. So this offseason, Waller went from the Raiders to the New York Giants. And the Giants are not good right now. They're in a very weird situation where right now, honestly, right now at this moment in time, Daniel Jones is hurt. Saquon Barkley, I think he came back, I want to say. I know he was hurt for the majority of the season. But during the, limbo, there's nothing good on their team. Their offense is a mess. Their defense is a mess. And I guess they played a really great game versus Buffalo recently, but that's not really saying much at all. I mean, even in that game, Tyrod Taylor looked better than Daniel Jones has all season. So this would really just be a team in the, New York Giants who are like, we just want to get rid of this guy. We just, well, not get rid of him, but we want to just kind of rebuild. We want to start over, right? We got our quarterback, Daniel Jones, for the foreseeable future with all the money we're putting into him. And we just kind of want to move on and try to start new here because right now this season, the Giants are in turmoil. They're 1-5 and they're looking like their season is done. So this could be a way to kind of ship out some players. And Darren Waller, who, they brought in thinking he was going to be the guy who could change everything. Potentially, you get rid of him and maybe you trade him. And because they're desperate, the Giants-wise, they might trade him for a decent pick or a decent value. So we could potentially get Darren Waller for, I don't know, maybe like a 7th round pick. or 6th-round pick, something like that, because the Giants just want to ship him out of town and get any kind of value they can in return. So this could work out very, very well for us. Now, the number 4 guy here, I will say, I completely will say absolutely no, but it is Hunter Henry, and I don't think this is a smart trade at all. I don't really think Hunter Henry is a better option than Irv Smith. I think when Hunter Henry back in the day was with the Chargers in a really good offense, he was very efficient. And, you could say, well, Mac Jones sucks, and that's why. I just don't think he's not a guy I feel like that can elevate an offense, and he has a lot of injury concerns. So I feel like he is a good system player, but he's not a good, elevation of any type of offense. While the next guy we have in this list, ironically enough, is also a member of the New England Patriots, and it's going to be Mike Gesicki. And I have been saying so much how if we did make a trade, and I know we're not going to, but if we did hypothetically make a trade, this would be a guy that I would love to go ahead and get. He's a vertical threat tight end, a player this offseason I really wanted the Cincinnati Bengals to target and actually go after. Now, again, they did not in the end. It is what it is, can't go back in time, but could be a chance to kind of take, this guy from the Patriots. Patriots right now 1-5, another 1-5 team, and they're very much could be looking to unload this guy. Keep in mind, again, Bill Belichick is still the head coach of that team. And what I mean by that is, if you know anything about Bill Belichick, the way he operates is he moves on from a guy 1 year early. And ironically enough, Gesicki signed a 1-year contract. So his contract is actually very affordable too, so it wouldn't be like a cap detrimental hit for us. And to be honest, it really would not be a bad idea to go ahead and maybe take a shot at this and see how he can do. What's the worst thing that could happen? He doesn't work out for us and we get rid of him? That's pretty much all I could see as a negative in all this, is we could literally cut him and he's not really guaranteed any money. Actually, no. He is guaranteed, I want to say $4.5 million. But again, like I said, yeah, that would be the downside, is the cap hit and the fully guaranteed contract. But in the end, I think it would just, if anything, just push our offense up 5 or 6%, and we need that in any way possible for the tight end position, because Irv Smith simply has not been the guy so far. So let's go into the running back position, and that's Samaje Perine. I've talked about him before, and I know a lot of you guys disagreed and said, no, we're not bringing him back. We don't need to bring him back. But I'm just going to kind of reiterate the points. The Broncos are 1-5. We offered the same exact contract that the Broncos offered. And he took the Broncos over us. Why did he do that? Well, there was reason, because he's closer to his family now, and that was a big reason. But another big reason was because Sean Payton told him that he runs a 2 halfback system, and he would be getting a lot more carries and be a featured back in their offense. And that has not happened. Their offense has been a mess. Their offense has been really pedestrian, to say the least. And it has been, nothing good for Samaje Perine. He's getting, I think he has 25 carries in 6 games. Let that sink in. 25 carries in 6 games. So, I think overall-wise, he knows our offense. He knows what to do. He's good in pass blocking. He's good at receiving. This could be a nice little option to have with Joe Mixon in the backfield. At the end of the day, I'm not saying we give up on Chase Brown, but he simply, so far, they haven't been utilizing him enough. So why not get someone who you think and know can go in there and play good football? Again, I know it's not going to happen, but I have to make the argument. I have to make the point for Samaje Perine. And the last guy is a guy we've been talking about, I feel like, since the offseason. It's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. This is not even the Bengals don't make in-season trades. No. I do like Derrick Henry. He's a great running back, and I think he's a great running back. But I don't think he would be the answer in any way possible for this team. First off, we couldn't afford him. Okay, the salary cap hit for Derrick Henry would destroy our salary cap. We wouldn't have the money to afford him. Second off, the Titans are going to want a freaking bag for him. And we're not going to trade a bag for a 30-year-old running back. That's just simply not going to be the case. Right now, our issue on offense is a little bit, again, about running the football. But the problem with that is because our pass game can't open up. Getting Derrick Henry would be the opposite of what we need to do there. He's not a pass-catching running back. I know he caught a touchdown against us. He also threw a touchdown against us. And he also ran a touchdown against us. But he's not a pass-catching running back in nature. He can receive the ball, but that's not what he's good at, right? Samaje Perine is good at that. So we could utilize him in that game too. While Derrick Henry would just be a very expensive, option to have. And yes, it would be nice, but if we still can't throw the football, who cares if we have Derrick Henry in the backfield? Right? They can just stack the box and shut him down. Look what Cleveland did versus Derrick Henry in the Titans offense. He had 20 rushing yards versus Cleveland. And I get it. Cleveland has one of the best defenses right now. And maybe historical great defense. They really do. They're really that good. But at the same time, again, Derrick Henry, they shut him down by getting right after Derrick Henry 20 rushing yards. And then you have to beat him through the air. You can't beat him through the air then. Because, Titans have no offense. That's why they couldn't beat him through the air. And I say that when they destroyed our defense. And I know it is what it is. But at the end of the day, we're going to be in the same spot that, Tennessee's in. I know we have weapons, but if we don't work on this offense in a way that gets us vertical passing game going, we're not going to be positive. And all these guys on this list, except for Derrick Henry, is an option to get our vertical passing game going. So, guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one.